Hi, welcome to my second video, hopefully better than the last. Last time I came into this with no real idea what I was going to do or say, and missed some things I wanted to say. So this time I kind of wrote some stuff down and kind of made a plan. Hopefully this is going to turn out a little bit better. So first off, I just kind of wanted to point out, like, I'm talking about being a new collector and I've got all of this stuff behind me. Like, that's not new collector stuff. I get that. I know that. That is my husband's stuff, for the most part. So it's mine, half. But it's not things that I personally collected. So what I'm here to talk about is the things that I'm personally collecting and the things that interest me, and just kind of point A to point B, and like I said last time, just the actually taking this kind of thing seriously, in the way that I would like to, at least. And so, yesterday we went to Free Comic Book Day, like I'm sure most everybody out there did. And I just want to talk about what we got, why we got it, and some of the deals we got while we were there. So I guess I will go ahead and just get this thing started. I'm going to start out with the free books that we got and why we got them. So, and some of them, I mean, it's free comic books, right? Like, why not? Ranger Academy, right here. I've never read a Power Rangers book, and the certain kind of shelter that I was growing up, I didn't even hardly watch Power Rangers growing up. I have, as, an adult or as a college student who was up late and putting on whatever was on TV. But this is a new generation. This is the introduction to, like, a new Power Rangers team. So that's kind of fun because I guess maybe I'm not going to feel like I'm just walking into the middle of a story. I do plan to read this and see how that goes. So I'm going to give this one a shot, Free Comic Book Day. But if you are looking for first appearances of anything, apparently this is the first appearance of a new Power Rangers team. And the cover itself is just really pretty. I really like, and you're going to see this a lot with the books that I show and the things that I say that appeal to me or whatever. These, like, pastel-y, colorful, watercolory type of covers. So, next book we got was Star Wars High Republic Adventures. Star Wars High Republic Adventures. And I mostly got this for the Avatar story in the back. I love Star Wars, and I'm sure that I will read through the Star Wars story, and I will read through some more of these books as I start getting myself familiar with things. But I really mostly got it for the Avatar story that's in there. So I don't think that there's any, like, thing fancy, no appearances, no anything. It's just a free Star Wars story with an Avatar story. Also got Invincible. Some of these that have shows I will pick up. I don't know anything about Invincible, but I'll pick them up, I guess, with the idea maybe one day I'll watch them. But also, I have an 11-year-old who does not really care about comics, does not really care about books in general, but every now and then, this, and then there's one other that I picked up to see if they will, I don't know, catch on a little bit, little by little. So, next up, we've got Spider-Man and Venom. This is also got a preview of a new series by Jonathan Hickman and Brian Hitch, it says. This is the origin of Flexo. Not sure who Flexo is, but I guess I'll read this and find out. We also picked up something later on, actually. That's a couple books from now. So anyways, very cool. Spider-Man and Venom cover, I mean, battle scenes are always, like, my favorite covers in the first place, especially when it's, like, a battle scene that's on kind of a blank background, if that makes sense, versus, like, being in the middle of a city with a whole bunch of stuff going on. I don't love a busy cover, and so this is, a little bit busy, but the busyness is the action that's going on, so that's what I like. Also, I just realized that Spider-Man is riding on some kind of a spider glider. I looked at it, thought it might have been like a hobgoblin glider for a second, but it's a spider. I've never seen this before. Or, like, him riding that before, you know what I mean? So that's cool, and makes me double want to read this. So, next up, I've got RuneScape. RuneScape for free. RuneScape, everything about RuneScape has always been free for me. I love RuneScape. That was my first real big video game that I ever played. I was too poor to afford a World of Warcraft subscription when I was younger, and so I made do by playing RuneScape. And so RuneScape comic book, that's going to end up in my box. Absolutely. This is another book that I picked up for my munchkin. Dogman and the League of Misfits, which is, I guess, Dogman and Captain Underpants team up. I don't know. That's okay. My munchkin really likes the Diary of a Wimpy Kid type of books and stuff like that, so that will be going to them. Next up, I picked up The Umbrella Academy. I don't really think that there's anything notable about this book necessarily. It's just another Umbrella Academy book. Seen the show, haven't read any of the other books, but I am a My Chemical Romance girl through and through. I was raised during the heyday of that kind of stuff. I was a little scene queen when I could be, so. And then also, it's got the Witcher story in it, so I will be reading both of those because why not? Next up, we got The Sacrificers, which is a new series by Rick Remender. I read the description. The description sounds really sad. My husband read the book. He said the book was sad. So this is a story about, to my understanding, kind of a future society where basically to live, everybody has to sacrifice one of their children to something. I don't know. It looks like maybe some kind of overlords or something. I don't know. And the description I read said that there was like an unloved boy and a rich girl team up to like bust up the status quo. So, I mean, that sounds cool. The cover was really engaging, and apparently the story was pretty good too. And Rick Remender is a favorite of his, and I have a bunch of his books that have been sitting on for a long time that I need to read, but I just haven't. Okay, so this is another one that we picked up, and this is actually really funny. So this is another Spider-Man Venom free comic book day book that was out there. They just had a bunch of, they had a table with everything laid out. There were a lot of things that were gone when we got there. I don't know if it was just kind of, they weren't really paying attention to who was grabbing what. There were definitely some things that I had seen on lists that we did not come across. So I don't know if we just got there too late, somebody grabbed a whole stack, whatever. Anyways, there was a stack of these on the table. And we were like, man, is this just another cover of the other Spider-Man and Venom one? Because we were like, this doesn't even really look like similar. So, or like the same story or anything. It also has a all out Avengers story. And this one has a different preview. And so I was sitting there, we didn't really look it up at the time. I actually had gone into one of the short boxes that we have and started looking at some of our old free comic book day books and found another copy of this. Looked it up. This was a free comic book day book from 2020. What is this? 23? 2022 free comic book day Spider-Man Venom that we picked up today. So this is going to make, I think, the third copy of this that we have from last year and then from today, or from yesterday. I am doing this on Sunday. Free comic book day was on Saturday. Next up, okay, so this is Uncanny Avengers #1. And this is the first appearance of Wynn and the new Uncanny Avengers. Avengers is Deadpool, Rogue, Psylocke, everybody here on this cover. So, that would be, that was one that I was looking for and gladly, or happily, I found. Or happily they had available. How about that? Another copy of the Star Wars High Republic. He and I both kind of divided and conquered in the store, so we did pick up a couple of the same stuff. The last free book that we got was this Marvel Voices. This is the first appearance of Kim Khem, who I guess is a new villain for Riri Williams or Ironheart, who we saw in Black Panther 2, I guess, and in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and hopefully we'll see again because I thought she was really cool. So yeah, there's that. That is, I guess, gonna be her big bad. So those were all the free books that we picked up. Like I said, there was some other stuff that I think we had planned to get, and they weren't there. So I don't know if maybe people got different selections or how that worked. But anyways, then we started looking through the bins of just priced out back bin comic books. And these books I'm just going to kind of gloss over a little bit, not completely, but gloss over a little just to, you'll see why. But there's a whole stack of these that we found. And if you know anything about me, I like things that are a little bit like, I don't know, my sense of humor is a little bit rough. I like to have things that are that are a little bit edgy, I guess. So like things like the Sensational She-Hulk covers and things like that. Those are interesting and those are cool to me. And one thing that I don't really ever come across is like Hitler covers, Hitler stuff. Somebody punching out Hitler, beating up Nazis. So we ended up finding for about $5 a piece. This is Invaders number 19. First appearance of the second Union Jack. So that's kind of cool. Got a first appearance with Hitler on the cover. So anyways, got Captain America and Hitler, and that is an iconic just rivalry, I guess, if you want to say. Like, I don't know. So anyways, got Hitler here, Captain America here, about to come and beat him up. Says the invaders dare defy the Third Reich of Adolf Hitler and they must die. But obviously they don't. We also have the Invaders Meet Frankenstein here in Invaders number 31. This one is my husband's favorite cover right here. This has a Nazi Frankenstein. So that's him and Captain America fighting. Got the Human Torch sitting there trying to get out of him. That's a pretty cool little fight scene for Invaders 31. We also have Invaders 32, which is got Hitler here and Thor. He's calling out Thor, saying, too late, you have to meet the Third Reich's ultimate warrior. So there's that. This here is Invaders number 29. This is also a first appearance of this guy right here, the Teutonic Knight. He is, I don't know, maybe some kind of a, looks like an alien or some kind of a cyborg who's got this big old swastika there. And then this is my favorite of the covers just because it's so gruesome. This is Star Spangled War Stories featuring the Unknown Soldier, and there's somebody, I don't know, got a Nazi arm ripping off a zombie face. I don't know. It's gruesome. It's weird, and it's another Nazi cover. Those are ones that are going to go in the back of my box just because whatever. But I mean that kind of thing. There's collectability to that stuff. And then like I said, it's not something you come across very often. Those were about $5 a piece, and so, you know, that's a little cheap, interesting addition to the collection. The store that we were at also was doing, they had their dollar comics, but then all of their dollar comics were buy one, get one free, basically. So they had a 50-cent comic box, and we got a bunch of goodies in there that were absolutely worth 50 cents. First off, I got Doom 2099, foil cover. This isn't worth, you know, a whole lot of money, but it is definitely worth the 50 cents to me. Next up, this one also doesn't really have a lot of, like, value, I guess, in general. This is Wonder Woman. This is Dark Crisis, Worlds Without a Justice League, Wonder Woman. I'm not sure the order in which you were supposed to say that title. But this is one of those things. I'm not super as familiar with DC books, and that's really a sad thing to me. And I've never read a Wonder Woman story. I've watched movies and shows, and I read about these things. I go on like these fandom wikis all the time and read about different storylines and different characters and come away learning stuff every time, but I've never actually sat and read through a Wonder Woman story. So this is going to be my first, partially because it also is featuring Martian Manhunter, so that is an extra appeal. This cover is just really pretty. Her and like what looks like cherry blossoms. But I'm assuming that's on Amazon maybe, or in Amazon or something. But yeah, Wonder Woman. I'm going to read this, and like I said, that doesn't really have like any inherent value, but I was excited to pick it up. I also got another book that I want to read. I found issue 1 and issue 2. This is Mom, Mother of Madness. Now, if you look up here, the first name was Amelia Clark, and I was like, Game of Thrones Amelia Clark? And I ended up reading it, and yes, Game of Thrones Amelia Clark. CS comic book. Mom, Mother of Madness. This is definitely a girl power kind of book. The mom in question basically has given herself superpowers through a long and tragic story. And those superpowers really are only activated by her emotions. So when she's scared, she turns invisible, and when she's when she's relaxed, she has like stretchy powers, and then she can kind of go Super Saiyan like this when things are real intense. Back here it says, "Oh, does someone need a little timeout?" And yeah, this is a page from the book. I read through this first volume, or the first issue volume, whatever you want to call it. This is an Image comic. And I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to read the second one, which I have here. This is Mom, Mother of Madness. And the back of this one says, "Look out, Mom's home." So anyways, if you are interested in watching or in reading a story about a single mom who is trying to do her motherly best and kick butt while she's doing it, seems like this is going to be the book. 50 cents. Also, Fantastic Four number 30A, and this is just another good She-Hulk. Here she is. Here's the Thing. It says, "Out of the way, Thing. This looks like a job for She-Hulk." So, that's pretty fun. I always like a badass She-Hulk cover. 50 cents. Also picked up the Avengers Empire Avengers Aftermath. Is that how you? I can't. Again, the sequence of some of these titles evades me sometimes. Number 1, and this we have Hulkling and Wiccan here, and everybody kind of around and celebrating them. I loved the Things, especially back here, crying. There's a variant cover of this that is more of like a wedding, like nobody's in their, or I say nobody, most of them are not in their suits, and they're in tuxes and stuff like that. So, but this is just kind of the basic cover, 50 cents. Just seemed like an interesting one to pick up. I also picked up, and I don't know anything about this series or anything like that, but this is a Pulp Fiction homage cover. Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite movies of all time. I will always pick up, especially such a blatant Pulp Fiction homage. Like, it's got color scheme and everything, and that actually I don't see quite as often with the same color scheme and everything. So that's kind of fun. And this is number 2, Eros and Psyche, number 2. So 50 cents. I'm pretty happy with it. Next up, picked up Grifter. Now this is, or Grifter number 1. This is Wildstorm Rising chapter 5, Grifter number 1. I was trying to look this up, and I don't really see too many of these around, but they don't really seem to have a whole lot of like aftermarket value, which is fun. But what's cool about this one is that it has a, see, it doesn't say it on the front, but it says something, I think, on the back about a trading card. I'm actually going to open it up, I think. So, I thought this, I guess the cover art itself was kind of cool. He's got his, see which way, he's got his sights set on you, you know. You like these. Oh, there's actually 2 packs in here. So, see what we got. This is probably sacrilegious, but again, this is kind of seems like just 90s overproduced stuff in the first place, though. Oh well. Maybe these cards are worth something. Alright, oh, that's kind of cool. So, there's two cards it looks like. The first one I pulled is Burnout. This card art is by John J. Muth. And there's a quote back here from J. Scott Campbell about Burnout. It says, he's not exactly fire-based, he's plasma-based. So he can use his powers in ways we haven't shown yet. Besides that, he's withdrawn, depressive, and he plays the guitar. So that's cool. Burnout. Got one card. This is like super oversized. I don't have, well, I do have a card. You know, a standard size trading card here. And so it's definitely different. So that's pretty nifty. And then the other one we have here, let's see. I'm not able to take these packs out of the book without completely busting the staple. So that's good to know. You probably, if you find this book anywhere, I'm assuming that it came in a poly bag. It was not in a poly bag when I got it. But as long as it's got that top staple there, it should have the card packs. I'm sure somebody may have cut some out, but anyways, and we have the Grifter. So this is our title character here, and it says, Grifter calls death blow to warn of a possible Daemonite attack, only to be attacked himself by Daemonite hovercraft. Wounded by flying shrapnel and weak from blood loss, Grifter still manages to emerge victorious and gain control of the hovercraft. And there's more to it, but card art by Joe Chiodo, I think. You can see his little, I don't know if you can read that, but his little signature down there. And it is also pretty cool looking. He's got like a Deadpool looking mask almost and walks around with these big ass guns. Alright, so that's the cards that came in. Grifter number 1, maybe the Wildstorm Rising chapter 5, Grifter number 1. I said I was about to hit some J. Scott Campbell. J. Scott Campbell, this is like the prize of the 50-cent bins. Because all the rest of it, other than probably this one, all the rest of them was just fun or maybe to read or whatever. And then all of these sudden, so my husband found this one, Deadpool Kills number 1. This is the second print of Deadpool Kills number 1. J. Scott Campbell cover. The first print had, I think it was a variant cover that was in color of this. That's in pretty high demand apparently. But this second print is also worth a little bit of money. So this is a very hip-hoppy Deadpool here. I don't know if that's an homage. I really don't, honestly. But it looks good. Then we also have Deadpool Kills number 2. So here is another J. Scott Campbell cover. Wolverine and Deadpool suit. Deadpool Kills Marvel Universe number 2. Also second print. And sketch variant, I guess. Is that what you call it? By J. Scott Campbell. We also have this MC Hammer Deadpool on Deadpool Kills Marvel Universe 3. Variant cover, also J. Scott Campbell. Look at him and his Fly Girls back there. And his, what do you call his pants? I know what they're called, but I can't remember. Anyways, Deadpool Kills Marvel Universe 3. J. Scott Campbell, super cool. Then we also have number 4. This is a 4-issue series. And so he was able to find all of them. $2 for the whole series. Now, this goes for a little bit of money. I can show it to you. This is another J. Scott Campbell cover. Got all these people here. Second print variant. Parental advisory. Second printing variant. And actually, I keep showing, I think, oh, it does say it on some of them. It says up top for 3 and 4. Now, going back to what I was talking about last time was making the hobby pay for itself type of stuff. This is going to, we're probably going to read it and then sell it to pay for all of the books that we picked up outside of this. Looked it up on eBay, and it looks like the 4 set of this in the second printing sells for like $80 pretty consistently. So, and obviously the books themselves, the individual books are worth a little bit, but the set itself sells for like $80. So that was a real nice one. That was an exciting surprise. We're gonna read that and enjoy it for a little bit, and then at some point probably sell those, because why not? All right, and then we also have Dark Reign, Black Panther. This is another J. Scott Campbell cover. I don't really think that there's anything special nothing really goes on in this book that I know of, but it is a good little, is that Shuri? And I'm not really sure who that is. Still on the J. Scott Campbell train, we have Gen 13. We have Gen 13 issue 0. This is all of them just kind of laid out on each other. I don't know if they're just chilling or if they fell that way, but look up there. J. Scott Campbell goodness. Isn't she pretty? Gen 13 issue 0. Again, 50 cents. Also got Gen 13, the Fire from Heaven chapter 3, Gen 13. Another J. Scott Campbell cover. And if you cannot tell why people collect him, then I don't know what to tell you, because I'm not going to say it. There you go. We also have Gen 13, issue 13, A, B, and C. So this first one is the team. You can see all of them kind of in an action pose, looking for somebody, it looks like. Now, cover B has Bone on it, so that's cool. It's both Jeff Smith and J. Scott Campbell on this one. And then number 13C, we've got Ash versus the Evil Dead homage here. Also J. Scott Campbell. Here we go. Very cool. I say all those were 50 cents a piece. Actually, these 3 were all in one poly bag, so it was 50 cents for all 3 of these. So that was also a nice little win. Especially with that Bone cover, I think that's pretty cool. Also picked up Amazing Spider-Man, Last Remains, issue 51. It's just kind of a cool, like, zombified, venomized type of cover here for 50 cents. Not too bad. Now, last 50-cent book that we picked up. This was the highlight of my day. Found this in the 50-cent bin. It is Legion of Superheroes, issue 298. And the reason that I'm excited about it is this here. This is the first appearance of Amethyst, Princess of Dreamworld. Now, I could go on a little bit about her, but really, one of the things is that one of my first comics I ever bought, this is her first, like, solo title after her miniseries. I only have 2 issues of the miniseries, both of which picked up yesterday? No, picked up last week. Out of the dollar bins. So this is one that picked up last year sometime, right? And this was 50 cents today. Now it's in pretty rough shape. I don't know if you can tell. The edges are all beat up. It's not really anything to look at necessarily, but I have read it, so that's exciting. Amethyst is a current member of Young Justice, and she was a member of Justice League Dark. She's kind of in and out of the DC universe. She's had her background retcon a couple times, just like everybody else. So she is a 13-year-old girl who is the ruler of this other dimension, basically. Gem World. I think I just said Dream World. Gem World. That she kind of phases in and out of, and she fights against somebody whose name is Dark Opal. This is also his first appearance, and I can't remember. He's got a little henchman. His name is like a citrine sounding name. Everybody is gym themed, and everybody is super cheesy. She rides a unicorn. I guess you can't see it on that. She rides a unicorn in Gem World. She has magical powers. She's just, I don't know. I like that kind of thing anyways, but I have read about her character. I'd like to read more of her stuff. I've read the issues that I own, but yeah, I'm kind of excited. There is a mini series, or was a mini series on Cartoon Network at one point in time. I think it only had 7 episodes, and I haven't watched that. It was very cutesy looking, which is fine. But it turned Gem World into like a video game, and I don't really know how much I'm interested in watching it from that perspective. But she, like I said, she's a member of Young Justice. She is kind of in and out and just somebody that I've found interesting. So I found her first appearance for 50 cents in kind of beater condition. Maybe not the worst shape, but not, I mean, it's missing parts of the cover, right? But what's even better is in the bins, the priced out bins, found for $2 a very nice copy. And I'm sure you can't see it on here, but like, I mean, I kind of want to press it and send it in. There's like a little spine tip here. And then there's a little bit of ink here, and I took it out. There's a little bit of ink on the back. And this top is a little kind of craggly. It's not like busted or anything though. It's just the way the old books get. I don't know if you can really see that, but anyways, I kind of want to press it. And like I said, we're trying to get some stuff together to send to CGC, just some books that we really want to preserve. And this is one for me that I would like to preserve. First appearance of Amethyst, Princess of Gemworld. I don't think anything else really important about this book in particular. So like I said, I picked this up for $2, $2.50 for 2 copies of it. And it's pretty easy. And I looked for this for a little bit, but it's not something that I would have gone on to eBay to find. I definitely thought that I would find it for a little bit more than $2, but I guess nobody's as excited about her as I am. So, oh well, lucky me. Also have the Avengers 263. This is the first appearance of X Factor. It says right here. I don't think CGC recognizes this as the first appearance of X Factor, or I did find this graded and it doesn't say so on the slab. But yeah, it says it. It begins right here. X Factor, Avengers 263. This is also like the rebirth. What CGC actually says is this is the rebirth of Jean Grey. So, I don't know. It's kind of cool. What lurks within the cocoon? I'm assuming that's Phoenix. Also picked up, this was a 50-cent book. Uncanny Inhumans number 11. This is the first appearance of Mosaic. Now, we actually had found the second printing of this book priced out in the bins for like $4 or something. I had picked it up and it was in my stack I was carrying around. And then all of a sudden, I hear him go, hey, guess what? First print in the 50-cent bins. So that was a nice little pickup. First appearance of Mosaic, who is one of the Inhumans. This is a pretty cool looking cover. I feel like I've seen this around before, but it was definitely nice to pick it up for 50 cents. Also picked up 50 cents. This is not in super great condition. There's water damage and things. So this is the New Titans number 99. This is the first appearance of Arsenal. So, yeah, I'm sure it's coming across a little bit on there. Just maybe not. It's just wavy and you can tell somebody spelled something on this. But 50 cents for a first appearance. This one was priced out here. Picked this up for $3. This is Spider-Man 25. Is what it says. This is the first appearance of Spider-Phoenix, which I'm guessing is Spider-Man with Phoenix powers, which is kind of cool. So the idea of this is really interesting. So I do think that I'm going to try to read this maybe on the Marvel Ultimate Reader app. I'm not sure. First appearance of Spider-Phoenix. We picked this up for $3, and that was the last of our deals. So I would say, all in all, that was a pretty successful free comic book day. Definitely got a few first appearance. I definitely found something that's been on my list that I've been hunting down for a while. And not only did I find one, I found 2. And we got some pretty cool covers and some good stuff to read out of it. So, happy times. So I guess going back to what's here behind me, the book that was all glared out last time I was in here, Iron Man 282, First Appearance War Machine, and a 9.6. This is a book that we just had to rebuy. When we bought this house, a lot of books went into the down payment and some of the furniture and things. And this was one of them. Iron Man 282. So this has now made its way back into the home. I mean, that's classic. I don't know what else I got to say about that. First War Machine. Everybody should know who that is by now. Reason I bring that up is I don't know how familiar you are with Marvel cards, but if you are familiar with them at all, I'm sure you've heard the name Spidey Hits. I was able to buy a card from him recently. I don't know how well you can see this, but this is from the Fleer Ultra Avengers. This is numbered as 63. This is War Machine, signed by Cal Cacao. Is that how you say that? Chow Cacao, maybe? Anyways, very cool. We actually had ended up buying into a couple of Fleer Ultra Avengers breaks, and one of those ended up, we had a whole bunch of, we ended up with basically a rainbow of the War Machines. If you don't know what that means, it just means one of every variety, every parallel, every variation, I guess, of the card. And this was definitely not one that was going to be easy to come across, and I was able to pick this up off of him, and that is added to the shelf back there. So that's exciting. So that was our free comic book day. I hope that you got some good deals. I hope that you found what you were looking for. And I hope that you enjoyed some of the books that I got. So happy hunting. I'll see y'all sometime this week. And yeah, thanks for stopping by.